All right, we are live. Ready, ladies?
Of course.
Ready as we'll
Let's
ever
do this.
be.
What's up, everybody?
Okay.
We are live. Welcome to another session of the Gobble God Podcast. My name is Will. I am the host of this show, the number one Polynesian podcast in the world. What's yeah, baby. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have a great show for you guys tonight. I appreciate all you guys. If you're tuning in for the very first time, thank you so much for tuning in. As you can see, we have a panel of beautiful ladies joining us from all different parts of the world, and we're gonna have a great show for you guys. We have some great topics to discuss tonight. To all my followers out there, everybody that always supports my channel, that always tunes in every single week and drop some love in the live chat. Thank you so much for all your love and support. You guys already know what to do. If you support the content, love what I do, and appreciate the journey I've gone through on YouTube to give you guys great quality content. Smash and press that like. Don't forget, I do have a disclaimer. We're going to talk about modern day dating, sex, and relationships. So, for everybody out there under the age of 18,
This content is not suitable for the children under the age of 18 without adult supervision. Please be advised.
please be advised and go to sleep. And go to sleep. All right. All right. Nevertheless, don't forget we have the live chat, y'all. So let's get that live chat popping. Always appreciate you guys on the live chat, always showing love and always dropping your feedback and your opinions based on the different topics that we're going to discuss. So let's get that live chat popping. Now, let me know where you guys from, but let's get it going, y'all. Don't forget, this is a public show. So I always invite people to come on and be part of the conversation, whether we agree or disagree. But let's have a conversation. So if you guys want to be part of the live show, I'm gonna post the link on the live chat. I'm gonna pin it to the top of the chat. You guys can see it. Just click on it, and you guys can be part of this conversation. So whether you agree, come on. Whether you disagree, just come on as well. Let's have a conversation. I know I have a lot of haters out there, people that disagree. I know a lot of you haters have a lot of
emotional damage.
it's okay. Yeah, I know a lot of my haters. I know you got a lot of emotional damage because I keep it real on this podcast. There's one thing we don't do here,
Stop the cap.
cap out here. So we're gonna keep it real. But like I said, whether you agree or disagree, come on. I'm open. I'm gonna invite you to come on and be part of the conversation. Don't forget the super chat donations. Much love to all you guys that financially support my channel. So if you do want to drop a super chat to support the channel, the best way to do it is ask it through a question, ask it through a topic, so that way I can reciprocate the support and answer anything you guys want us to discuss and talk about in real time live. So yeah, if you have a specific question or topic that you want to ask the ladies, or you just want us to discuss, ask it through a live chat, and I'll be able to reciprocate you and make sure we answer that for you to show some love and support. I see you, Fatty. Hey, what's up, Fatty? I see you on the live chat, man. Thank you for tuning in. We have a great show for you. But nevertheless, that's all my YouTube stuff. Thank you so much. First and foremost, I would say shout out to the ladies real quick for taking the time out their taking that time out their day to be part of the show and support my channel. So thank you so much, ladies. Great honor and privilege to have you guys here. I'm excited to have you guys. And I love the energy already. I love the energy already. I know we ain't gonna turn up and have a great show for you guys tonight. But ladies, open it up for you guys and ask you guys to go ahead. If you guys can do a quick introduction, your name, your age, what do you do, what's your relationship status for everybody out there that's watching and don't know who you are. I'll start with our newest guest. And Bree, go ahead and introduce yourself real quick.
Oh, hey, y'all. My name's Bree. I'm 30 years old. I stay in Texas, and I am an insurance adjuster, and I do freight dispatching. And basically, I'm single.
All
Single.
right. Single.
I like
All
long
right.
walks on the beach. Okay, I'm just playing. Go ahead.
To the beach and the bank.
Okay.
All right, no worries. Fellas, you guys know what to do. She's single. No. All right, no worries. Bree is thank you so much for taking the time to be on here. I'm excited to have you on tonight's show. And let me pass it on to Shawna. Shawna, go ahead and introduce yourself real quick.
Hey, everybody. It's Shawna La Morena on IG. Go ahead and follow me. I am 30. I am a pharmacy technician and I am building my social media. So hopefully I can quit being a pharmacy technician one day. And I'm sadly single, but not for long.
Right. All right. Sally is single, not for long. So there is an opportunity there, late fellas. It's a short opportunity, but you gotta make the you gotta make the best of it. Make the best of it. All right, no worries, Shawna. Thank you so much for jumping on. I will always appreciate you. And a lot of you guys watching right now probably recognize her from previous show. So I'm excited to have her back and be part of the conversation as well. So let's get right into it. Thank you so much, everybody out there. I see a lot of you guys on the live right now. Get the live chat popping, y'all, real quick. And let me bring up the very first question on topic, and I'll post a public link. And a lot of you guys want to jump on, you guys can go ahead and jump on real quick. All right, so let's get right into it. So, ladies, I have the very first question, and I got a hot topic. I always like to start it hot. Have a good conversation. So my first topic is actually this is a topic I saw was trending on social media. A lot of people were talking about it, so I want to bring up on tonight's podcast. So let me ask, but first I want to ask you, ladies, do you guys prefer your man to be the leader, to be the strong leader, and you that they can lead you and be on top of his game as a man? Do you prefer that?
Yes.
Yes.
Certainly.
Preferably.
Cool. All right, so you prefer your man to lead. Okay, good.
Oh yeah.
All right, so I saw this podcast, and they're talking about how a lot of men say that it's hard for them to, especially we live in today modern society where women can, they have the careers, and women can make their own bread, they can do their own thing, which is respectable. I understand that. But what a lot of men are saying is it's really hard for them if they're making about the same amount of money with the woman. It's really hard for them to lead because a lot of times the women feel like that because they make the same type of income that they can both be the leader, and she doesn't necessarily have to follow everything that he has to say. So a lot of men feel that in order to be a strong leader, that he has to make a considerable amount more money for the woman to at least give him that respect. That a woman can't fully respect his leadership if it's making the same, or especially if it's making less, if it's making dramatically less than the woman will feel like that she's the man in the relationship, and she'll be the leader if he's not the one carrying the full responsibility and the financial stability for the family, right? So my question I want to ask you, ladies, is how much money must a man make for you to fully follow his leadership and respect it, and not try to overstep if if he's not making that much? So a lot of women, when a man's making a lot of money, a lot of women, he's making all the money, I gotta give him that respect. I'm gonna thing, right? It's hard to follow a man if you're making more money than him, right? Or maybe the same, right? But like I said, it's maybe you disagree, but this is something that I saw was going online. A lot of women feel that's how it is, but maybe you guys feel different. But I wanted to open up. That's gonna be the topic that we're gonna just bring it up. How much money must a man make in order for you to fully respect his leadership, to see him as a man, to see him as a leader, and be able to submit to him as a woman? And I'll start with you, Bree. This is you're the first guest. Newest on the show. Let me know what you think, and don't forget I got the stop the cat button ready. So
Look, don't do me like that.
No cap.
Don't tell me you're gonna follow a guy from McDonald's. I know that's
Oh no, that ain't happening. I mean, he could bring me a McDouble or something, but that's about it. Okay.
All right. Yeah. So yeah. How much money? How much money does it really have to make for you to what? He's I respect him as a man because he's handling his responsibility as bringing the bread. But go ahead, Bree. What do you think?
Well, I'll definitely say the number one part of it to me is consistency, like actually consistently bringing money in, because I've ran into that type of stuff before where he's not consistently bringing money in. But I'll say that as long as you can take care of the household, if you can take care of the bills and you can still have a savings to be able to treat me out and have a good time, it's easier to follow. Because if I'm the one that's like the breadwinner, if I'm having to use all of my money to take care of the bills, and let's say he uses his money as spending money, it's not respectable, because it's he has to be able to take care of the necessities, the bare minimum. I feel like that's because as long as you're putting in the work and you're actually making some money, I honestly, to me, money's not a big issue, because money can come and go. You can have a great job for 30 years and get laid off the next day. But I will say, I honestly think that you have to be able to cover the bare minimum and still have a little bit back to be able to treat your woman out.
Okay. All right, so how much, like, you're talking about paying bills, right? So how much percentage how much does he have to pay as far as percentage of the bills for you to respect him? Like, is it 50%, is it 60%, 70%, 80%? Like, what's the number for you?
In the same household, I mean, I would say I have no problem doing 50-50, but I say he should be able to afford 100% because it's like, if I wasn't here, you should be able to take care of that stuff without me.
Mhm.
So, but it's just the conversation you have to have at the beginning. Like, what are we going to be doing with our money? Once you start putting finances together, it's a bigger conversation. It's more than just a percentage. Like, and that doesn't, honestly, like I said, it could turn into where they're giving 100 for like years, and then you have to be the person that gives 100%. So it's not about a real percentage to me. Just being consistent.
Okay. But I mean, do you have standards, expectations? Like, obviously you mentioned, like, the guy from McDonald's has no shot. All right. So there is some financial levels to it.
Yes.
So what's your financial level? So if you're making X amount of income, for you to feel comfortable with his ability as a man to handle his responsibility, to be consistent, like you mentioned, where does he have? Where does he have to be? Is it the same, or 50% less than you? Where's your comfort? What's your comfort spot where you can follow him and respect him as a man?
I mean, equal. I feel like it would be easier if it's equal, because then it's like, okay, we both putting in the same amount of work. But honestly, it's not a number to me. Like, honestly, when I think about it, it's not a number to me. I can't put a number on it and say he has to make this much amount of money for me to be happy. Like, maybe if we add up the bills and add them up for, like, 6 months, he should be able to pull that out of a month at least. You know what I mean? So, I honestly would just say it, as long as he's consistent, it's not a number. I can't really even pick a number because I have a different experience with that type of stuff.
Okay. I mean, so have you been with guys that had, that were considered like had no money or were broke? And
Yeah.
and how did that go?
That was terrible. So I wasn't able to respect him the way that I felt like I wanted to, because I was consistently having to flip the bill, which was not a big issue because I have to take care of myself anyways. But it was the effort that wasn't being put forth in the inconsistency of a paycheck. Because it's like, if like we were going 50-50 at that point. If I'm expecting you to come with your half, you got to come with your half every month, just like I do. So I guess in that sense, it would be equal. As long as we're putting in equal parts, I feel like that's fair.
Okay.
But if I'm being honest, I want him to be able to do 100%, because he has to be able to be stable by himself if I wasn't there.
Yeah. That's
respect
true.
that.
I actually support you, and I believe that a man should be able to take care of 100% of the bills, and leave the woman to have an option if she wants to work or not. If she wants to work, that's great. She doesn't want to work, that's fine. Because when you have children, she has to step away, right? And because she goes through pregnancy, so she has to step away. So you have to be ready to handle that responsibility. So I do understand that. So I agree with you with that. So for you, it has to be equal. If it's guys making less, you're gonna be like, nah, that's not happening. That's not happening.
Basically. No, yeah, I feel you. Like, basically that.
Okay, all right, no worries. That makes fair. I'll pass to Shawna. Shawna, same thing. Like, how much money would a guy have to make for you to follow, to respect his leadership as a man and submit to him?
I can't put a number like Bree said, but I've dated both ends. So my ex-husband, hope he ain't watching, but he didn't make a lot, okay? But I respected him just as much as I did the man who made 6 figures. I never felt like I treated him any differently, as in respect level. I respect your hustle if you're hustling. You know what I mean? So there's not a number to me. But as I've gotten older, I've realized, like, I need somebody to match what I'm doing. Like, I got my own apartment. Like, how would I feel if I'm dating someone who lives with his mom? You know what I mean? How would I feel if someone I'm dating doesn't have a car? Like, when I was 25, 20, 21, I'll pick you up. Like, no, I want pick me up. You know what I mean? Like, I need you to match that. And I don't, sometimes it sounds bad or like we're like, okay, if I do meet a guy and I really like him and he works at McDonald's, I might give him a try. I'm not gonna be like, oh, you work at McDonald's, so I'm not giving you a try. Like, no, I might. I'm not gonna say I'm not, but I need that same hustle and I need you to be at the same level as me. But on a respect, I don't think I can say I wouldn't respect him if he worked at McDonald's or if he worked, you know what I mean? And so
No,
with me,
when I say respect, I don't mean like as a human being. Of course, we respect him as a human being, but I'm saying as your man, that you look
I
up to.
I believe there's no number because like I said, I've dated both where I've made more and then where I've made less, and I still respected both of them as my man. I never belittled them or made them feel any less. So just from me, there's no number. It's really the situation.
Okay,
Yeah.
no worries. No, because like the feedback I get from a lot of women is like, I want to make sure we understand there's a difference between like personal value and sexual market value as far as relationships. So obviously, for a lot of women, like if they see a guy that's working at McDonald's, right? We're not gonna disrespect him, as a human being. But from a sexual standpoint, it's hard to still sexually attracted to a man and respect him if he's not, making more money than you as a woman. That's what I'm saying. So it's not saying that you look
Oh
down on
no,
him.
yeah. No, yeah.
I'm just saying is like for most women, they're like they find it sexually attractive when the man can handle his own responsibility and bring them bread and take care of you. It's like there's something about that. A lot of women feel that respect him a lot more and see him as a man. But if he's not doing that, it's hard. It's hard for him to look up. Oh, that's probably not a man I want to follow. Does that make sense?
No, completely. Because, like I said, the ex-husband, a lot of our problems were that he wasn't consistent, like Bree said, and it's like, hey, I have this drive, and I have this, and you trying to stay right there, so I need you to be pulling me up as well. So I get that. That's just like I just don't know if the difference. I'm trying to understand the difference between the respect, like you're saying. You were explaining the differences between the respects.
Yeah, like if a guy's working at McDonald's, right, and you're in a relationship with him, if he tells you something to do, or like he wants you to follow, it's hard to respect him because as a man, because like you said, you can't look up to him because he's down here and you're up here.
Okay, I get it
But if a
now.
man that's making more money than you, he's like, "Hey, Sean, I need you to do this for me." You'd be like, "Yes."
Like,
If he's making,
like, yes,
if he's up
daddy.
here,
Yeah.
yeah, yes, daddy.
Okay.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of women say this. Like when the man is handling his responsibility on point,
Oh
he's
yeah.
got his money, got his life together. If he says something and he wants you to do it, like yes, exactly, yes, daddy. Like I'll do
Yes, daddy.
Okay.
it. But yes, daddy means you're looking up. You don't say yes, daddy.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
dad.
Look, yeah.
Yeah, nah.
But I feel
So
like it's
okay,
partially
now I
like
get
security.
what you're asking.
Yeah, yeah. Does that make sense?
So yeah, totally. Because I did
Okay.
it. Yeah,
Bree,
yeah.
you want something to say? Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. I was just saying, I feel like it's partially like that security part. Like, being attracted to somebody is being secure in the relationship, not just like, with emotions and stuff, but financially. That plays a big part. So if they're not making enough where they can't even cover their bills fully, you don't have that financial security. So how can you trust them to lead you anywhere when they're not secure with, the financial part? That's difficult.
No, there's actually because I read a lot into like sexual dynamics between men and women. There's actually a biological reason why for women you find men who are financially stable or at a higher level very, very attractive because for most women, physically you're the most vulnerable, and especially you guys have children, so it feels good to know that man can take care of you because if you have children with him, he can handle. You feel protected, feel safe. Right? It's hard to feel that peace and that security if you're gonna have children with that potential guy, but for a fact that he might not be able to take care of you, and if you don't take care of you, he might leave. But a man that's confident in his ability, he's not leaving because he can take care of all the responsibility. So that's why it's a good. I have a question from Fatty. Shout out to Fatty with the super chat donation. This is towards Shawna. So Shawna is if your ex made $300,000 a year, would you still be married? That's his question to you, Shawna. Oh, did you see it? You got it, Shawna?
You there?
You there, Shawna? You there? Oh, we can't hear Shawna.
Can you hear me now? You can't hear nothing. Okay.
You hear us, Shawna?
Oh, she can't hear nothing.
We'll come back.
Now I have an ex-husband. I can answer the question.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, in my situation, I feel like him making more money, that was part of the issue, was that there wasn't that security. So that's what I'm speaking from experience. There wasn't any type of there was no financial security going on. So it was always like every month I'm crying because I'm like, how are we going to pay these bills? Because he'll go and he wasn't responsible. Because I feel like with financial security, there's also responsibility that ties into that. He would go and buy a pair of tennis shoes versus paying the rent. And I'm like, look, I just gave you all of my money and you were supposed to come with your half and you don't come with your half. So if my ex-husband would have made $300K a year, it probably would have been a lot better because it would have freed up my money to do all of the things that I wanted our relationship to do, how I expected it to flourish.
Okay. All right. So thank you for sharing that, Bree. Shawna, what's your thoughts? If your ex made $300,000 a year, get to the question, would you still be married to him?
Nah, son. Nah.
Why?
He could have made $1 million. He could have made $1 million. I wouldn't have been.
Stop the cap.
Come on, Shawna.
Nah. Because that money wasn't the reason that I left. But I mean,
all right.
I wouldn't stay because of money. Like I said, I've been with someone who makes 6 figures, and I left his ass too. Because it's like if you're not reciprocating and you're not,
it wasn't financial. It
was not financial why I left. No,
Got you.
Neither relationships with the $30,000 and the $150,000 guy. None of the reason I left was not financial reason.
All right. If you made $1 million, you think twice. Let me see.
Yeah, 350,000 maybe, but not 300,000.
All right. No worries. I want to ask you, ladies. So if obviously you guys both mentioned that you guys did experience men that were broke or didn't have any financial stability. So if if a man did make less than you, what would he have to show for you to at least for you to give him respect and be in a relationship with them? Obviously, there's a lot of stories of relationships with men and women where the guy wasn't together, but the woman stuck around and believed in him, believed in his ambitions and dreams, and then he made it to the top, and then now they're flourishing together, right? So, so what would a man have to show? So even if he's making less, even though your biology is telling you it's sexually unattractive because he's in the bottom, but there's something that he's showing, like, you know what? Okay, I see he's going somewhere, and maybe I'll give this a shot. So that's my question. Go ahead. I'll start with you, Bree.
Well, I would basically say, oh my bad.
Go ahead. You good. No worries. Go ahead, Bree.
Well, I'll basically say one of the things. Well, okay. Repeat the question. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get the question.
So no, you said that you mentioned that you guys did date guys who didn't make money, that were broke, and of course those relationships didn't work out, right? Because you didn't feel secure with his ability to take care of you. So if a man was in a situation when he was broke and he was dating a woman that was probably a higher socioeconomic level, and what would he have to do and show you for the woman to at least give him a chance and stick around for long term?
Ambition. I mean, I feel like you have to have goals. You can't just have a dream, because you got to write it down and be taking steps to actually accomplish it. Anybody can say they want to be a millionaire, but are you actually waking up at 5 a.m. every morning to, you know, get to that goal? Are you putting your best foot forward every single day? And do you see yourself growing? Because some people want to grow, but they just don't see themselves there because they've never experienced it or had somebody to push them. So I feel like, you know, you have to show that you're willing to put forth the effort for the things that you actually want.
Okay, got you. So for you, Bree, at least even though he's not that level, but if he's showing ambition, if he's showing potential, and he's working on, you know, he's not lazy. He's not just laying around and doing nothing, but he's being proactive and making things happen. As long as you can see that, then you'll be able to take that journey with him, right?
Yeah.
Give him that shot. Okay, all right, no worries, no worries. Shawna, the same thing. And what do you think?
Yeah, same thing. The drive. I would say after leaving the guy that was financially stable, I went to a broke guy. And why I stayed with the broke guy is he had a passion. He was passionate about something. Like the financially stable guy, all he did was work. You know, he didn't like that's literally all he did. Come home, work, go back to work. You know what I mean? Go to sleep, work. Like, and then when I got with the broke guy, like we had fun. He had all this time to spend with me, and you know what I mean? Because he doesn't have a job. And why do all broke dudes? Why do they sex be so good?
They got to
Because
compensate somehow.
That's all they like. The best
because
sex
you
you
got a
ever
lot of
had in your
time.
life.
That's all they do.
I'm like, goddamn.
They can perfect
We
their craft
having
with the
the
time.
best,
Yeah.
like the best sex. Like I don't understand. But anyways, I'm sorry. Back. Focus.
No.
Focus.
So I tell women all the time that broke guy, he can probably fuck you better than me. I'll give you up to you 100.
Like
I got my
5
shit
times
together.
a day.
I got my shit together. That's the difference.
That's tired. That's like that I've been working hard all day, Dick. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, look, I give it to you, but oh shit, my back hurt a little bit, you know.
I need to warm up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
I realized
just got
that.
off
I
the
was
shift,
like, this is crazy. I'm like, what is going on? But yeah, it's because that's all they anticipate throughout the day. But I did like his passion. But it's just like, all right, when is your passion gonna turn into actions? You know what I mean? So
All right.
but yeah, that's my opinion.
No worries. Oh, no worries. If you're a broke guy right now in the live chat, man, let me know, man. Let me know how you be doing. You be doing the
Yeah,
other
put it
day.
on the chat. Put it on the chat.
Put on the live chat. All right, no worries. All right, so let me pass on. We have our newest guest jumping on. Shout out to Angie. Angie, thank you so much for taking the time. Much honor for you to be on here. I'm excited to have you on tonight's show. Angie, for everybody out there that's watching this right now, can you give a quick introduction to everybody out there? You know, your name, what your age, what do you do, and what's your relationship status? Since we're talking about relationships tonight, go ahead, Angie. If you can do a quick intro.
My name is Angie. I'm a business owner, so I own a tattoo studio. I'm also a notary public as well. So, also getting my real estate license. So I'm studying for the exam as I speak. But also for my status, I guess you could say it's complicated. But
All right. Well, complicated means single. You know.
Period.
Okay.
He might be watching though, so be careful. He might be watching.
No worries. And how old are you, Angie?
I'm 38.
All right, 38. Nice. All right, Angie, thank you so much for jumping on. So I want to ask you for your thoughts, Angie. So I'm gonna take it real back real quick. So we started talking about for a lot of men, you know, when they go into relationships. Of course, in modern society today, men and women, they both work, they both have the career, so you know they pop out and make the same type of income. What a lot of men are saying is they feel like that they can't really be the man in the relationship because a lot of women, they can't really respect the man if he's making the same amount of money, or maybe if he's making dramatically less. So for a lot of men, they're saying in order for a man to feel like the man in the relationship, for his woman to submit and respect him, a lot of men are saying they have to make more. So my question to you, Angie, we asked Bree and Shawna, they shared their thoughts. How much would a man have to make for you to respect him as a man, as a leader in the relationship, and to submit to him? What's your thoughts?
Well, I was married for like 17 years, and he made like $170,000 a year. And I can tell you, money does not mean anything. I mean, I left that entire marriage, and he made a substantial amount of money. So it has to be a balance. It literally has to be a balance. Like, he definitely was the breadwinner, but I took care of everything. He literally had to do nothing but work, go home and sleep. But to the spectrum of how you said like bright guys have the best stroke game or whatever. Honestly, it's a balancing act. Like bigger girls usually like they feel like they need to like do a little more, and then pretty girls they do lackluster. They do the least. Same with broke guys who make a lot of money. They're more focused on the money more so than that stroke game compared to guys with the stroke game. They obviously don't have to work as hard to do much because they're getting it whatever if they have a big penis or whatever. I mean, they don't have to do much, it's just like it's given.
Right.
The attention just from the size, but it's a balancing act. You can't just I've been with rich men and I've been with like broke guys, and it's like no matter what, if it doesn't balance out, usually guys who make a lot of money don't want to. They usually will pay for people's time because like they don't want to deal with like the in betweens. And then with broke guys, it's kind of like they got to have that stroke game in order to get you, right? So
Period.
literally,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's on preference, honestly, because I don't really care if you have make money or not because I make my own. You just have to show me the actions and the consistency. I prefer consistency over anything else for me, regardless of the status, because end of the day, I married that guy. He was broke as fuck. I made him up making like $170,000 a year, end of the day, after 17 years. And I pushed him. I supported him. I took care of him for all of that. So it has to be a balance. Otherwise it just will not work.
Okay.
Otherwise,
All right. No,
as fuck without me,
Mm-hmm.
all right.
That part.
Right. No worries. Thank you for sharing that, Angie. So I want to play the devil's advocate right now because I know Shawna said that obviously it wasn't financial and the guy was working all the time and he didn't perform good, and then you went to look for that affection and attention somewhere else. So for a lot of men, what they feel like, I want to bring up to you ladies, for a lot of men, they feel like, there's a lot of burden of performance for men, a lot of pressure for men to be able to be financially stable. So a lot of guys have to like put a lot of time to make that happen. And in their mind, they're like, okay, a lot of women are saying they want guys to make more money. All right, good. So these guys go to work, put in the work, put in the time, make the sacrifices to make sure that he can earn that much, only for the woman to believe like, oh, to go find and be with another man. So he's like, man, I'm working my ass off every single day, and then my woman still leaves. So I was like, if I don't make money, they won't respect me as a man. But if I do make money, um, then because I'm not good at this area, then she'll find it somewhere else. So they feel like in their mind, like they're not winning. It's a lose-lose situation. So if a man was making, so if a guy like, I want to ask you, just kind of reverse engineer it a little bit. Okay, if a guy was making a lot of money, like what was missing? Like what would he have to do to make sure that he can find the, like Angie said, the balance, right? Because there's always a way to improve. So obviously, like for women, you want to be, you guys like the attention, you like to feel love, you want to feel that from the men. So men, we have to be able to be aware of that and make those adjustments. We can't just work all the time. We're human beings. We're not robots. At the end of the day,
Right.
right?
Right.
Relationship, right? So
Totally.
yeah. So yeah. So like you guys, Angie, I know Shawna, you guys were, and also Bree, you guys, your husband, your previous partners were making money. But but now looking back at it, like what was missing, and what would you prefer if you did go in a relationship next time? How would you communicate to the next man that was working a lot? This is what I need as a woman. So that way, a lot of men are watching this right now. They can hear that from the woman's perspective. Yeah, I'll start with you, Shawna.
Yeah, definitely affection, attention. The guy that I was with, he was a really good guy, and yes, he was financially stable, but when he was home, because he traveled a lot for work, when he was home, it was like no attention, no affection, barely any sex. And it's like, come on, And it's like I didn't leave him and find another guy, It was just like I was just tired of it, and I left. And then for some odd reason, I get with the broke guy at the next relationship. But honestly, it was really just attention. And I was okay with you being gone, but like when you're home, don't make me feel like a stranger. Like you've been gone for 2-3 weeks. Like I should feel special when you're home, you know? And I mean, that's it. Attention, affection, and love. That's it. Not much, right?
All right,
Well,
all right.
you're a
See.
man.
No, like I do believe sex is a big part of the relationship. So like we can't overlook the sex part. So
Yeah, definitely.
if you don't have the sexual intimacy, all it's gonna die. That keeps
Exactly.
that fire going, keeps that fire going, and to let you know that your partner is still attracted to you sexually.
Right.
Um,
Right.
yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from, and I think, and for me personally, I believe the man should be the leader in that category. Like he should be able to lead that part. If
You should
if
be
you take a
telling
good
him
job,
to slow down. Yeah, you
yeah,
should be telling the man, like, I'm tired. Like,
yeah,
I don't like to be told I'm tired. I'm the woman. I'm like, I feel like a man in this situation,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
That's
And
part of the responsibility of a
initiation,
leader. Hmm?
I hated initiate. Like, I can initiate. Like, I don't have a problem with that. But, like, all the time, like, I need you to initiate. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm forcing you to, you're a man. I feel like you should, but you're so tired from work that, so,
Okay, all
all
right,
right.
no worries. Okay, I'll pass it to you, Angie. Angie, what do you think? The guys, those guys out there watching right now, making a lot of money. Obviously, you said in the previous relationship that wasn't the main issue of that relationship. So what should men do if so that way the women can feel that affection and appreciation, not just the security that he brings to the table.
Well, I think it's important. I don't know if anyone else knows, but I think it's important that you know each other's love language. Um, if everyone, yeah. So obviously, like for me specifically, my love language is active gifts.
Services.
I like to give
I
gifts. And then somebody else
Mhm.
that I was with, it was active um, touch. So they preferred the touch. And you guys have to know like how to love each other. So if you know how to love each other specifically, a lot of people will just love you just based off of what they like. So like I like giving gifts. So like that's how I like to love. But a lot of people, they don't respond to that if their act of love is touch. So I think it's literally like it's effort, and people don't understand that it's effort. You have to work on it. You have to actually like cut out an hour out of your day to take your woman out on a date, or just like literally talk, fucking mentally stimulate each other, whatever. But it
Mhm.
literally takes work. And a lot of people, I don't care what status you are, you can make $1 million or no money at all or whatever. But if you don't understand the process of working in order to like communicate, fucking have a healthy communicating relationship, it really, nothing else matters, honestly, end of the day. Because if they're not putting in the effort, then they definitely should just stay single, because staying in a relationship is work, and it's way easier just to be single, honestly. So
Mhm.
Okay, all right, just putting the attention, the time, and spending. Make sure you prioritize some time for you. Okay, that's fair. All right. Yeah. Bree, what do you think, Bree? What's your thoughts?
So I think the main thing for me is respect. Because it seems like when, guys tend to have more money, they feel like they can kind of like treat you however, because it's like, do you know how many other people want to take your place? And then they don't put themselves in this situation like, that I can go and find somebody else, in the same instance. So I feel like when when men tend to make more money, some of them, they like to kind of be belittling, like you have to do what I say when I say do it, because I'm the breadwinner. I do this, I take care of this. And it turns into like a tit for tat, like, I give you financial stability, so I need this from you, and if I don't get it from you, I'll leave you and go for somebody else. So I feel like it's just having that mutual respect for each other, for the things that each person does bring to the relationship.
Okay. What are examples of you said that a lot of men will kind of abuse their power, being in that position. So what examples do you have of things that probably asked you to do as a woman that you probably didn't agree and you feel like it was overstepping?
Well, I'll definitely say like say if you are tired and you don't feel like, being sexual, and it's just like, oh, well, if you ain't gonna do it, I'll find somebody else who will. Just like something like that. Or, you know, um, honestly,
Yes.
that's the main one that I can think of is just, they're like you can't withhold sex from them because they're giving you money. And it's like I'm not a prostitute. So like I don't have to do it just because you give me money or because you're, treating me to things and such. So
Okay. All right. No worries. Do you also think it's how do I say this? If a man is handling responsibility, do you think it's fair to say, if sometimes in life, like we have to do things we know we may not want to, we don't feel like doing it, but we do it because it's necessary in life. Like like work. Like sometimes you wake up and work like, look, I don't want to go to work, but I have a kid, I have a wife. I gotta put my feelings aside and do what I need to do to make sure I provide for my family. So if the man is, you think it's fair for if the guy's a good guy? I'm not saying this is a toxic guy. I'm not saying this guy's is this a good guy, good values, good husband? Is it fair if he's like he asks you for some sex, even though he's not in the mood, but you're like, you know what, I got a good guy. Let me just kind of give him some sex. Do you think that's okay? That's fair to expect as from a man, a good
yeah.
man?
Yeah, I mean it's sacrifices. Simple. Like, sometimes you gotta sacrifice a little bit of your rest, for his sanity.
Okay, all right. I just want to go out there to see because there's some women, they got a good guy. I've had conversations with women. They got a good guy, and the guy just like, we're men, like we want some sex, right? And then he comes home from work with a long shift, and the girl's like, I know, I don't want to do it, and the guy's like, oh damn, like no, anything, like no, we don't have to do the full action, but give me some at least let me get some song.
For
Well,
sure.
why can't you offer like a massage or something to like initiate
Yeah,
it? It have to be a
you know.
request. It could be effort into like, oh, let's do massages, and boom, like obviously, once that happens, like it happens. So.
Massage, we mean like, that's what we
Right.
That's
mean.
what she meant. That's what she meant.
That's what we
That's
mean
what she
when we
meant.
say massage. Two-hand massage. All right. All right, no worries.
Hand
All right,
combo.
no worries. All right, no worries. Thank you so much. Yeah. Anything you guys want to add on to that conversation, to that topic? You
Nope.
guys good? Okay.
I'm good.
All right, no worries. I'm gonna bring on. As you see, there's a live guest real quick that wants to jump on. Let me bring him on real quick. Uh, hey, what's going on, Fatty?
I will. What's up? Hi, ladies. How are you?
We're good.
Hi.
How are you?
All right. Yeah. So thanks for jumping on, Fatty. Fatty, yeah, I'm sure you heard the conversation we had, and obviously you know what the topic that we're discussing right now. What are your thoughts on the topic?
Uh,
Go ahead.
it's been an interesting question, but I, I wanted to ask that at least I noticed that they all divorced, and for my understanding, all of them initiated divorce. So I just wanted to ask if they feel like they did anything that contributed to the divorce, because we are talking about the guy, what he didn't do, and this and that. So I wanted to ask, since you initiated a divorce, and for all the men out there that don't want to follow the same path, what were the mistakes that you feel like you did that contributed to the decision making and the final straw?
For me, it
Okay.
was
All right.
it was
Who want to go first?
I'll
Go
go.
first.
for me it was lack of communication. We were together since middle school. We didn't know how to communicate. Um, so that was our issue, and yeah, it definitely we grew into different people, and it literally the communicate. If we would have communicated, I feel like we could have like worked it out. But we were so young, and like afterwards, I realized it after the fact, like after the divorce and everything. That's when I learned all of the mistakes and everything. But I think that's what growth is going back and looking at the mistakes like from prior.
Angie, just to make sure, something you did that contributed for that? You are still making it, or his fault, or 50-50? Something that you exclusively did that made the relationship end?
I didn't know how to communicate, so I shut down and I just decided to end it instead of communicating and expressing my feelings. So that's exactly what happened. So definitely a lack of communication. Like I said, I just recently learned how to communicate. That is a very hard trait that is not easy to come by. So
All right, no worries. So communication from your part. Thank you for sharing that, Angie. Let me pass it on to Shawna. Shawna, what do you think to Fatty's question from your end?
I think I married someone that I thought I could change, and I didn't really like his personality or him. I just was young and wanted to get married. And yeah, so I definitely married someone that he's a fine person, but I'm just saying I married someone because I wanted to be married, and I didn't end up liking him. So
Okay.
I'll take accountability for that.
Okay. All right, no worries. Fair enough. Thank you, Shawna. And Bree?
I would probably say, personally, I didn't pray enough. Something that I, didn't do. I feel like when I lean on God, things go way better. But I personally didn't pray enough, and I feel like that's based on the Bible that I read. It's stating, that the woman is actually the house for the prayers and the connection to God. Like, so I feel like I didn't initiate just bringing God into the union, because I mean, we said our vows under oath, to God, or with God in the midst. So he should have been included in my relationship with my ex-husband. And he wasn't, I guess didn't initiate or bring him into the relationship the way it should have been. But yeah, I don't, other than that, I feel like I was good.
Okay. All right. No worries. But yeah, thank you so much for your question, Fatty, and thank you for jumping on. Let me open it up for you guys. If you guys are watching this right now, the live chat, thank you so much for everybody on the live chat. Press that like and subscribe button real quick. Don't forget, we got the public link posted in the live chat. So if you guys want to jump on, also be part of the conversation. And but yeah, let me open up for you ladies. I'm sure you guys have your question, your topics that you guys want to bring up and have a discussion real quick. Yeah, I start with you, Bree. Bree, what's your question, the topic? Bring that fire.
All right. So I guess my question is, do y'all feel that women are more masculine than men nowadays?
Okay. All right. So your question is, do you feel like that if the women, the modern women today, is more masculine than the women? What do you think? I'll start with you, Angie. What do you think, Angie?
I think nowadays women are making way more money, so definitely it's a new day and age. Women definitely don't want to settle down anymore. The percentage rate for like birth rates, it's like lower than usual. So definitely women are working their asses off and they're trying to be more independent. So yeah, definitely a new day and age.
All right. So Angie says yes. That's the women today are more masculine than the men.
Yeah.
What do you think? Yep. I agree with that. What do you think, Shawna? What do you think?
Definitely. I think it's not the same. We're not like our grandmas and we're not like their moms. We're working, we have rights now, and I don't think it's good. I think we should keep our hormones where they are, but we're working now, and some of us even make more than our husbands, or you know what I mean? So I don't like it, but it is true.
Yes.
More women are more masculine than they should be.
All right. Before I pass it to Fatty, I want to ask the ladies, the reverse effect, because I know Bree said that a lot of the women are more masculine. Do you guys also see the reverse, where a lot of the men are no longer masculine; they're more feminine now? What do you think, Bree?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, we could just talk about skinny jeans alone. No, I'm just kidding. No, look, no, I ain't taking no shots to nobody, but but I but I do feel like the men, I mean, I think it's good that men show more emotions, but I feel like it's more they only show emotion when they're angry. versus, you know, they don't always show when they're happy or when they're sad, but it's always the anger that they're willing to display. And I feel like, you know, women can be, you know, pretty feisty and stuff like that, but I feel like a man shouldn't be feisty. I mean, unless that's, you know, look, I ain't talking about that, but, you know, like, I shouldn't be feeling like we got to duke up, like, you know, like it's two females in the house and we like, what's good? You know, I shouldn't feel that way. And I feel like that's how it is with a lot of men, especially that kind of ties into them, you know, wanting to be abusive, because it's like, it's a whole thing. But I just feel like men are very feminine nowadays. They're expecting women to take them out on dates, which is nothing wrong with that either. But it's like, what can she do for me? I remember women used to say that all the time, but now men are walking around saying, what can she do for me? And I mean, it's okay to want a woman to do something for you, but it's almost like they're literally talking about financially, and they don't have anything to show for anything, but what can she do for me? You know?
All right. No, that's fair enough. All right. So I'll pass you to Shawna. What do you think? Is do you see a trend now with the men being more feminine than the women?
Yeah, and honestly, I can say I actually kind of like it a little bit. I feel like men are like, okay, you can have emotions. Like, you don't have to be this tough guy all the time. Like Bree said, I don't need us both to be on our periods at the same time. But I like it. I like the little bit of like feminine in the men. Like, please cry in front of me. Please, you know what I mean? Like all that tough stuff, like, you know, like when we're in our house together, like be emotional with me. Like the rest of the world be tough, but like with me, show me that emotional side. You know what I mean? So,
for what?
Huh?
What's the final for what? Cry on your lap for what? For you?
No, it could be if they're going through something at work or with their family. It just shows more of like emotional connection with you two. Like if you're okay, Kanye West and Kim. I know they're broke up. I love that. Like he was so weird to the world, but she loved the shit out of him. And he was weird to her. And you don't know what went on in that house. Like we now are all seeing how crazy he was. But she said, why are you laughing, Fatty?
Because Kanye is the emotional prototype that you should avoid 100% of the time. It's just for your ego. I'm going to cry and you are going to feel important because I cried on your lap, but I'm crazy enough to eat you, to make fun of you on the public sphere, to go after your new boyfriend. I'm emotional, so I'm going to be emotional every single time. Do you want that? Are you sure? Do you want that?
No, but did you hear? I said I don't want. Can I have a happy medium? I just said I don't want us both on our period, but I like a little bit of emotion.
But
I didn't say Kanye. I want a Kanye. I said I like how the dynamic of how he was. Like he's so different with.
He was
so different. Yeah. And I don't know. I like Kanye. So, and yeah, he's crazy, whatever, but he's passionate. And I mean, that's your opinion, but I like his dynamic and how he loved his wife.
Shawna, let me. Go ahead.
No, I would just, it was just a little, most men that eat women have the Kanye mindset on their head because they are erratic. They think on the moment and they think afterwards. So if you want to invite that to your home, you are inviting trouble to your home because ego spazzes out on the media. Another dude that doesn't have the outlet he has picks a chair and breaks it on your back. If you want that, you can have it.
You can break my
back. Oh man. breaking sound effect. I thought that was something to break. No, I want to ask you because Shawna, because I do hear from a lot of women, they say that they want a guy that's very emotional and vulnerable. Let me ask you, Shawna, do you classify yourself as a masculine woman or feminine woman?
Very feminine.
Very feminine, right? Okay. No, because the reason why I bring that up because oftentimes if a man is feminine, he's gonna be looking, just it's simple like human dynamics, sexual dynamics that whatever you are as a person, you always going to be attracted to the opposite. So men who are very feminine, because they're not masculine, they look for masculine women, and women who are very masculine, They look for very feminine men. But oftentimes I do hear from a lot of women that say they want a guy to be vulnerable. Do you really want the guy to be vulnerable, or do you want him to be able to communicate his emotions effectively? Because those are two different things. Because from a lot of women, because you mentioned first, right? I don't want you to be. We don't have to be in a period both times. It's like I want to feel like a woman, and you need to be handling responsibility. So I think a lot of women conflate that. Like obviously, I mean, they don't want the guy to like break down and start crying. I don't know what I'm gonna do, and they still want men because you asked in the beginning of the podcast, you guys like a leader, right? So you still prefer your man to be strong, but you're a woman, so you still because you're feminine, you still need emotion, appreciation, and attention. So do you really want a man to break down? So whenever something bad happens, he breaks down and cries, or do you want a guy that's strong?
No.
But knows how to tap into his emotions and communicate it effectively. Is that really what you want?
Definitely the second one. That's what I'm saying. Like when I say like, oh, when you're like, oh, he's never cried. Like that's the first time I ever see him cry. Like I'm not saying I want him to be crying every week, but I want me and him to have that connection where he's cried to me before.
Yes, you see this? She wants a man that makes her feel.
Well, okay. But let me ask you. No, this is a good conversation. Let's go right into it.
Because if he's an asshole to the world, or he's not an asshole, but I feel like our connect, like me and your relationship, like I should know you on a whole nother fucking level than all these other people.
You want to feel special. You want to feel special.
But that's what I meant. A guy that can effectively communicate. So if you have a guy that can communicate his emotions, he doesn't necessarily have to cry, but he'd be like, you know what? Hey, baby, I had a bad day today. I'm going through some stuff right now. But I just want to let you know because you're my woman. I'm going to effectively communicate my emotion. But he's not going to because men are very strong, right? Because you guys are strong men. The one thing that we learn as strong men is we learn how to control our emotions and not let that control our decisions, right? So we feel pain. We go through hardships, but we understand as a leader of the house, we have a family and a woman to take care of. So we can't just break down and give up on life because we have responsibility. So that's why it's like for a man, but like I said, you're still his woman. So he will communicate that with you, right? Hey, I'm going through hard times, and so that way you know what's going on. But do you really want him to cry and break down? Because I've seen content online and I've talked to women that they said that as soon as a man breaks down and cries, they lose sexual attraction for him because he's a bitch now. Like I'm more manly. I mean, I'm just saying what a lot of women are saying, but maybe you were different. A lot of women are saying is if a guy cried, and that's why for a lot of guys, they've cried once before to a woman, and then she lost sexual interest and found another man that was stronger. And that's why guys are like, I'm not crying no more. What do you think about that?
Nah. I'll give you one cry every 5 years.
Oh, you okay.
That's what I'm saying is you say if you want a man to cry, you can't give him.
I'm saying if a man cries in front of you, ladies, has your man cried in front of y'all?
Yeah. Well, a guy has. I mean, it's having that vulnerability, being able to be open with each other. It's not saying that you want somebody who's a crybaby, because I'm a crybaby enough where I don't need us to both be needing our diapers changed, okay? But it's just like, I definitely think that when it comes to a man, he should be able to express himself, because a lot of men bottle it up. Versus, just actually, they don't have to cry, but to be able to actually say it out of your mouth and say, look, I'm having a hard day. I'm hurting something.
Mm-hmm.
So you agree with me? Like that's how I mentioned effective communication and vulnerability. So the guy can, as long as he can effectively communicate his feelings, so you understand as a woman. But you don't want the man to cry every day, because once you tell a man to cry, then he thinks in his mind, like, I can cry anytime.
I don't want him to. I never said that. I do not. I said one every 5 years.
If that's what you're saying, that's what you're allowing him to do.
Just 25 years. 25 years. Yeah. Look, if your mother dies, your father better wait like 7 years before.
Yeah, better suck that tear back up.
I don't want to see that shit. I don't want to see that shit. No, you cried 2 years ago. No.
But Shawna, don't you? But you see how confusing that is for a lot of men.
It's but the red light and the green light is open at the same time, and if you go, you are doomed. If you don't go, you are.
What if he cried and then I mean, I got another 5 years to fucking cry.
It's only been 4.5 years, man. You gotta hold it up. Suck it up,
He
buttercup.
had that little quiver on his lip, just
He's going to cry in the car before he opens the door.
I'm
Yo,
just
Shawna,
playing.
you're ruthless. You're ruthless.
I'm just saying, once that guy, like you say, yeah, it makes you feel special, but it's like your connection is like dope because men don't cry. So when your man cries to you about something, like especially not about you, like, oh my God, don't leave me. Now that's not cute. That's not cute.
you gotta
But
go.
when it's like, oh, I'm frustrated, I'm stressed, now that's vulnerable. But no, don't cry and be whining about me staying like that. That's not masculine to me. But stressed about work, stressed about your family, parents dying, stuff like that makes me feel special, and that makes it feel like you are being vulnerable. Because nobody else gets to see that. Your friends don't get to see that. Your parents, the people at work don't get to see that. You're vulnerable with me. So
It's not about the guy, it's about you. So
yes, it
he
is.
has
We're
to
building
cry.
a connection.
He has to
We're
cry,
building-
not because of him and his feelings, because you want to
We're
feel
building-
special. That's what you're saying. You're
No.
asking
What was the question?
Oh,
The
good.
question
Wait,
is,
Angie,
With men,
Angie, go ahead.
yeah, there's a big stigma with men specifically that they're supposed to be emotionless. We're all human beings. You have to support your man just as much as he supports you emotionally, mentally, and physically. It's a balancing act. You can't expect your man just to be completely emotionless. You have to support him, let him talk out his feelings. If he cries, he cries. But like if he's at a funeral, yeah, support him, but he should be able to cry if he is absolutely needing to, and it shouldn't have to like be emasculating for him, because men deal with mental issues just as much as women do. Women expect men to mentally support us and everything like that, but we need to support men as well. Like men deserve just as much attention emotionally and mentally as much as we expect it from them. It's literally a balancing act. You can't expect your man to just be fucking emotionless and then just be able to be okay mentally. Nah, that shit fucks them up. If they're bottling all that shit up because they can't tell you, and it's so fucked up that they cry and they don't feel comfortable coming to you, who the fuck are they gonna go to?
To their friends.
Side chicks, so they
To their
side chicks.
friends,
Okay.
to their male friends.
To the
And if they go to
mistress.
their mom, if they go to their mom, you're gonna judge them. You're gonna fucking be like, "Oh, you're a mama's boy." They
No,
need to
not
be
the
able
mom,
to
the friend.
you need
Male
to
friend.
me, cry on my shoulder. I don't give a fuck.
No,
If
cry on
I'm
my shoulder.
fucking support me, and if you're crying, I got you.
What if you cry on the male friend? Yeah, what if I go to Will and cry on him and not include you on the process? Will that be okay?
If that's a preference, if you prefer to cry on your friend's shoulder,
I will just. I'm just asking if you.
There's a
if that
deficit
will
in
make you
the
feel.
relationship if you have to go to your friend for emotional.
What am I here for?
No,
Mhm.
you see, but
in the relationship, if you feel uncomfortable to go to your friend, to me instead of your friend, like,
but
so
that will
deficit.
make you feel some type of way if I went to Will and cry on his shoulder instead of crying on his.
But I would question you specifically. Why do you feel more comfortable going to a friend when I'm literally your everything? I am your rib. I'm literally part of you. So why would you feel more comfortable going to your male friend than me?
But this is the real. I think your microphone is off.
But no, go ahead. I'm good. Go ahead.
I was just saying, but this is the problem. This is fake caring. If you care about your spouse, you want him to go fix his problem on the doctor, on his friend, on his boss, no matter what. The problem with what Shawna said, I say she stays on a lighthearted way. I know it's not on a bad type of vibe, but there's a problem with women. They make problems of other people about them. I would feel some type of way. I want you to make me special. Cry on my lap. My first girlfriend, we were together for 4 years. She always accused me of not liking her because she was the one that always cry, always scream, while I was the stoic guy. I cried once in front of her, and when I looked at her face, she was laughing, but she was laughing on the I don't know what to do. I'm so nervous about what's going on. I'm not prepared to deal with what's in front of me that I'm laughing on nervous. So the problem with this, and Angie says it really well, Men need to open up. Men need to have a space to cry. Da, 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 da. But like Will said, and this is a generalized statement, most women do this. They lose attraction for the man they love when it starts to be overly emotional. If you lose a job and you start to get stressed out, if your father or your mother or your brother dies, if you come from war and you have PTSD, most divorces come from those times. Because men are here to support women no matter what. If you cry every single day, I'm here for you. But on the other end, most women are not made to handle this. And Angie, you can do this as long as you want. I'm going to tell you this so you understand the problem. You can say whatever you want. This is your conscious brain talking. 90% of your brain functions on autopilot. You can control your breathing. You can control the way your lungs. If you wanted to get aroused now, you couldn't control that. And that's the problem. The part that controls the brain that controls your arousal is automatic. It's not a conscious decision to get aroused or not. So if the guy cries and you feel attraction and you lose attraction to him, the thing is, it's not a controllable feeling. You can say all you want, yeah, I will support this and and I'll do this and do that. That's not about you. It's about your brain and how it reacts to certain problems. And most women usually, especially like Shawna said, if he comes home and starts as a period like of 3 months that he cries and he cries and he cries and he cries, most women will lose attraction for that guy, not because they want to, not because they chose, not because they're a bad person, because your brain has 90% of capability of running himself, and you are not in control of that. You are only in control of the 10% that you are talking about it, and you're trying to say the good things, but you don't control that. That's the thing.
That's a very generalized statement. I think it's a personal statement specifically.
No,
because
that's science. That's science.
No,
Then-
because women and men, they have a connective tissue. The difference between a woman and a man, a woman has a connective tissue that goes from both sides.
Yeah.
So that's what makes us like different when it comes to reactions and such. So I feel like you're really speaking from your own personal experiences and who you select. Because you're saying because you're saying most women and such, but it's most women that you have dealt with.
No, it's science. And actually, the part of the brain,
90% of the women that you choose.
The problem with the woman's brain, like you said, there is more connections.
It's not a problem. But go ahead.
Let me just finish. The problem with the woman's brain and how they usually judge the normal things in life is that they have more connections to the left, to the right side than men. Men usually have not that many connections. What that makes, you can have a logical type of behavior and you override that logical behavior with emotions. That's why women usually put emotions above logical thinking. And that's why you get in a lot of problem, because you think with your heart and not with your head. And women usually know that, and they acknowledge they are more emotional than men. And that's the thing. The logical brain of Angie, she says, no, I will take care of me. There's no problem. He can cry. And then the emotions come and smash the logic. And now you are moving on an emotion type of base and not on a logical base. That's what I'm telling you about yourselves. It's not my friend. It's
that's
not
just
my
your
ex.
opinion, and that's your assumption. That's not you telling me to stick.
Okay, so science doesn't matter.
We can agree to disagree.
Science is theory, though. I will definitely say science is a theory. It doesn't mean that it's I mean, just because they say it's a fact, it's only a fact because somebody was able to prove it. You get what I'm saying? So once they say, oh, that this happened out of 50 or 70 out of 100 people, they'll state it that it's a fact, but it doesn't mean that there's not a group of people who are not like that.
Yeah,
because what you're stating is nothing like me. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
No, I think what
generalization of women, but that's not me. Also, it depends on it depends on how you look at love. I grew up watching my grandpa take care of my grandma until his dying day. He literally financially supported her. He literally took care of her, literally. So my perception of love is completely different than yours because you didn't visualize love just like I visualized love. So my perception of men compared to how your perception of woman is completely different. So, because I witnessed love completely differently than you did growing up. So your perception of love and my perception of love is completely different from what I grew up looking at and visualizing. So it's not the same. It's not the same at all.
I think what Fatty's trying to say, and I agree with him with this point, because we are always going to be attracted to the opposite. So if you're feminine, you're going to be attracted to masculine. If you're masculine, you'll always be attracted to feminine. So when the more women who are feminine, they usually have the more emotional traits, right? Where the man is the guy that's going to be more assertive and more logical. So oftentimes when a man is vulnerable in that emotional state, for a lot of women, whether it's conscious or unconsciously, it's a feminine trait that he's expressing as a man. And that's why for a lot of times, for a lot of women, if they see that if a man starts to become feminized, he may lose, she may, I'm not saying all women, obviously you guys are having your own personal experience, but there's a lot of women out there that's, because he's showing, she knew him as a masculine man, that strong leader. And obviously most women, they want a guy to be strong and to be the one to give her that security of their future, of their family. And he can hold that down as a rock. But if a man is vulnerable and in the emotional state, now he's showing about a feminine side that which she doesn't know how to react to, because she knew him as a masculine man. But then when he breaks down in that very vulnerable state, that security that she used to know for the future of the family, that's also questionable, because now he's like in a very state that he doesn't know what to do and doesn't have control of the future. I have a friend that he shared the story with me. He had a friend that he was a father, he was a leader. He lost his job, he lost everything, and then I think he caught some kind of medical condition with his heart, and he had to go to the hospital and was hospitalized. And at that very moment, he told his I think it was his brother. He told his brother, you had right now, in a very vulnerable state. You have to be strong right now because you're the breadwinner. Right now, your wife doesn't work. She's a stay-at-home mom. You have kids. You lost your job, and you're now in a medical condition that may affect your physical ability to provide. They're looking at you right now as a leader in a very vulnerable state. You gotta be strong right now, because right now the security of your family is tested. But he didn't listen to his advice. He started to cry and break down to his wife that I don't know what to do. I'm hospitalized. I lost my job. I don't know how I'm gonna take care of my family. A couple of weeks later, she left him and went to another guy. So all I'm saying is, like, for a lot of women, the sexual dynamics between masculinity and femininity, a lot of women, they look for security in a man. They look for a man for leadership, to be strong for the family and responsibility. And a lot of times, if a man doesn't bring that to the table and he doesn't know how to control his emotions, I agree with Angie. I think men shouldn't be emotionless, because we are human beings. At the end of the day, we have our emotions and we can cry at times. But I would say is for a man is because if you want to be the leader of the household and provide the security, part of that responsibility of being a leader is you have to be able to be in control and not let your emotions merely emotions dictate your decisions and to break down, because you chose to be the leader to lead this family. So you chose that, no matter what happens in this situation with our family, I have taken the responsibility of being a leader, and I'm gonna carry us through. So when we cry as a man, do I feel like times when I want to cry? Of course. But if I'm the leader of the family and I've chosen to be that responsibility and bear that burden, I'm gonna cry, but I'm not gonna let my emotions dictate how I feel about my responsibility to still go find a job and still work. So I'm not gonna cry and break down like, oh, it's over. I feel like it's loose. I don't know what to do in my future. No, I'm gonna cry. Then I'm gonna take a step back, self-reflect, get my emotions in order, get back in control, and figure out a solution to make sure I can go out there and still be able to provide for my family. And for a lot of men, they know, for a lot of women, they don't know how they react. And a lot of women might react the way you guys are, maybe understanding, very loving, and be able to respect them and still give him the support he needs. Yeah. But then also there's a lot of men out there we just don't know that be the opposite effect. So when you cry to a woman, it's like rolling a dice. It's like Russian roulette. We don't know what's we're going to get. Are we going to get a woman that's going to support us and beat it? Or she might be the reverse, and she might leave me in a couple of weeks from now and find a guy that's stronger and more in control, have more security than him. So it's like we just don't know. That's why for a lot of men and I have conversations with a lot of men, like we just don't do it. The best way to do it is, because you don't know how your woman's going to react, just find some strong men, have a good support system, if you go through some challenges, go talk to other men so they can help you out and give you some solutions to help you out. But when we break down into a most vulnerable state, like Fatty said, we're like flipping the coin. We don't really know how you're gonna react. If you react the way you guys reacted and very understanding, that's the best case scenario. But the worst case scenario is like she loses trust in your ability to protect and provide for her. She loses trust in your security and your leadership as a man. And for a lot of women, you know what? If you can't take care of me, I have kids right now. I can't be in the street. I can't get kicked out. I can't be living on the street. I can't have no food on my table. I need a real man to take care of me. So a lot of women, you know what? I'm just gonna go find another guy. I hope like I just want to explain that in that way. So like to understand is like that's how men see it. So that way you can kind of have a perspective of the male understanding. But that's why for a lot of men, if we cried one time and then the woman was like nah, and they found somebody else, and then a lot of men they're like nah, we're not doing that anymore. We're gonna be learn to be better men. We're gonna put ourselves in a position that we don't have to be that vulnerable. And if that happens, we learn to discipline ourselves with our emotions, so that way we can still conquer our challenges and still move on and find a solution. Does that make sense, or does for everybody out there? Anybody wanted to add on to that?
I just think that is very arrogant of every human being to think they can control every single emotion that they have on their head. Being happiness, most men cry because they cry. I watch Titanic and might drop a tear. I don't choose to cry. I don't have the emotional control to suppress my feelings. The feelings show up like when you watch a sad movie, when you watch a horror movie, and you might be a little bit scared. You don't have control on that. So telling a man to open up when you don't know how your control of your emotions are going to flow, it's very dangerous. Like Will said, it's a flip coin. If everything is right, it stays the same. If he doesn't land right, I lose everything. So what am I going to choose? And the most problematic part, Will, how many coins do you have? 1 in 5 years, or 1 in 2 weeks, or 1 in 1 month? You don't know how many coins you have. So it's better to pick up your coins, go to your friend, cry on his shoulder. You know he's going to be there for you because you are there for him. We are mature enough to handle our business. And then I come home and I'm not going to get my problems, put it on your head, and now you are going to work upset because you don't know 1 month from now, if you are going to be able to pay the bills or not. That's
all right, no worries. I see Ty on the live chat said, "Man, I almost cried when the Niners lost the Super Bowl against the Chiefs." No worries, brother. No worries. All right, all the Niners, all the fans out there, the football fans. Thank you so much for tuning in. I always appreciate you guys for jumping on. Bree, thank you for that question. I appreciate that question, and let me pass it on to Angie. Angie, do you have a question, the topic you want to bring up for us to discuss? What's your question or topic, Angie? Go ahead, Angie.
Yeah, actually, so I had an issue online. A lot of men ask about women paying for dates, or them paying for a date, or the stigma of should the man pay, or if it's a first date, should you go Dutch, or should the man pay at first? So I wanted to know opinions on that.
Oh, okay. All right, no worries. Yeah, so let me open up to Fatty. Fatty, what's your thoughts about should the man pay on the date? Oh, you're on mute, Fatty.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you should pay to establish dominance. That's the to me, that's the thing. I think first date, men should pay to establish that he wants to lead and he is interested in the relationship. Second date, woman must pay so they can show that they are not abusing the monetary and the resources of the guy. Third date, they should have sex. The woman should go to his house, cook for him, should have sex, and then they see where they go. Like, to me, that's the perfect order if you want to have one night stands or if you want to a relationship. If you want to play with the results, you can tell men to don't pay the first date and probably they won't get a second date. And so I'm the guy that says choose the highest probability for you to have what you want. So pay the first date if you want to get the results. If you want to get CG with the money, second date might not happen. So you better pay it.
All right, no worries, Fatty. Thank you for sharing. I have a different answer than Fatty. For me, I think if any man that's working on his masculinity and wants to be the leader of the household, I think he should always pay for the date. I think that's, and I think for women also, you should expect a man to pay for his date because if you want to prove and to vet that he's financially stable, like he should be able to handle and pay for a date. If you can't pay for the date, then there's more issues that you have to worry about if you even can't pay for a meal. Maybe he doesn't have a car. Maybe he's still living with his mom. If he can't even pay for a simple meal, right?
Okay.
So I believe every man should pay. Any masculine man that wants to be a leader, as a good man, should always pay for the date. But what I see today and why a lot of men, I think, have issues now, especially when it comes to the paying for 50-50. And I think I'll bring it back to what Bree said. We're moving now into a generation where the men are more feminine and the women who are more masculinized, and the modern women, right? So one thing I've noticed for a lot of modern women is like I don't mind paying for the date. That's what I do. I like taking care of my woman. I like to make sure that she's taken care of. That's how I show my love, is provision and protection. But a lot of times the modern women, they think that they have this entitlement that I should pay for it, and they don't have to give me anything back in value. So if I pay for the date, I expect you to reciprocate that. And sex would be nice. Sex would be nice. All right.
I was waiting for it.
But it doesn't necessarily have to be sex, right? You can just like checking up on me, ask me, am I hungry? Do you need, if I'm at work, they're like, hey, you want did you eat today? Like to show that because I'm investing into you, and I'm not saying I'm paying for your attention. No, the way I like to take care of my woman is financial, right? But I want to know that I'm not just wasting my time paying for something, and it's one-sided. So for a lot of men, I feel like the reason why a lot of men say, you know what, I'm going 50-50, because a lot of women take advantage of the men, right? They'll go on a couple of dates with them. He's paying for everything. And then I've heard this from a lot of women, like they'll go on dates just for the food. They don't even care about the guy.
Just because they are bored, go to the cinema,
They
go to the
hungry.
movies. Because they are bored.
Right.
They have nothing to do. I'll go to the
I'm gonna go for that free meal, free date.
But see, you gotta make sure you can like somebody when you're hangry. You know what I mean? Like you just.
but how do you know on the first date? That's a problem.
But how do you know, right? It's a lot of men that are like, dude, I took this girl on like 4, 5, 10 dates, no sex, no reciprocation attention, no messaging back through text message. But so a lot of guys like get confused and like, you know what, I'm tired of spending my money and getting no investment back into my no return on my investment. So that's the biggest fear for a lot of men. We just don't want to feel used. Like we like doing it, especially if they're very masculine, maybe the feminine and the broke guys with the good dick game. He may expect you to pay for the date. But
I'll pay you later.
But for the men, like we just don't want to feel like we're being used for our finances, and that's where it goes wrong. That's why a lot of guys, you know what, the best way, I'm gonna go 50-50. I think for a lot of men is like, just you should always pay for the date, but see how she reacts. For me, I'll pay for the first date, and I'll pay for the second date, but I'm gonna see how she reacts, if she reciprocates back. Like if she's checking up on me, if she's returning my messages, if she's calling me, if she's giving me because like I said, I don't need her to pay for the date. Like that's, I look for women. I look for you from a different type of value. Is just I want your loyalty. I want to make sure that I know that you're appreciative of my attention, because I'm giving you my time, I'm giving you my attention, and I want to make sure that's reciprocated, to know that I'm not wasting my time and you're just using me for my money. I think that's what most men are concerned about, and it may want the women to pay 50-50 because they don't want to waste their time, especially if you're taking them to like very fancy restaurants. I start low and build my way up. Go to McDonald's real quick, taco truck, just to see where this goes. I'll build it up to we'll go to the fancy restaurants later, as I know there are we have reciprocation on our relationship. But a lot of men, they just don't want to be used. They don't want to be used for their finances. What are your thoughts, Angie?
For me, I've been on dates where guys, I will always offer to pay. I will never expect a man to pay for me. But once he does, psychologically, I don't want to go out with him again because I can literally pay for a meal by myself and enjoy my own time, right? So I'm gonna come in to hang out with you. You asked me out, you initiated it, but and honestly, like I didn't mind not I paid, but I kind of
Yes.
lost interest, honestly, and that's.
Angie,
But
can I ask
Wait,
I don't
so
expect.
you say, I mean, do you prefer the man to pay? I mean, like I said, I don't see there's nothing wrong with it, but like, do you prefer the man to pay if he's capable?
It's not more so that I expect any man, like if I go on a date with a man and he's like, oh yeah, let's go Dutch, it is what it is. Just perspective wise, being raised seeing my grandpa take care of my grandma, perspective wise for me it's just
Angie, can I ask you a question really quick?
Yeah.
That feeling is conscious or subconscious? The feeling I didn't pay, and now for some reason I look at him. I'm not looking at him the same. Is that conscious or
my
subconscious?
time is valuable, very valuable. Okay, my time is very valuable. You ask me out on a date, we go eat, cool. Second date, I'll pay. If you let me pay, I'll pay. I'll pay specifically. I don't care, but there probably won't be a second date, and it's just on
You-
specifically personally. Not like anything against the man. I paid for my own date. It is what it is. I just would not rather pay for the next date and the next date and the next date. I would rather just like.
But that was what I was talking before. So you understand. So we have no problem. It's not because you are a bad person or because you don't have the money to pay. It's because subconscious. If he pays, he shows a little bit of you look at him a different way. But if he goes Dutch, you might have the money. You might have like
I will
be
always
$1.
I
But
will
you're
always
not
have
going to look at it the same way. That's
I
what
will
I'm
never go
talking
on.
about.
I will never go on a date broke ever.
You see, yeah, but
But
that's what I'm talking about. It's about the
subconscious
subconscious aspect that goes to your head. One decision, like Will said, one decision not paying might be $1. Is the principle? Is like is the principle? Oh, you are not cold, but at least he took the coat and said, "Do you want my coat or not?"
I'm
Just
honest.
for him to ask.
I'm honest, and I will tell anybody that. If you let me pay for the day, I'll pay for your food as well, sir. But there probably
But
will not be a second date.
but that's what I was asking before. And not just to finish, Will, I just want to add a thing. Like you said, good dick, woman will pay 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 dates. When they really want you and want you for that thing, I saw the most broke guys on my teams have the everything paid, the rides, because they were there for that. They are not there from the long distance relationship, but for the short slings, they are going to get what they want if the woman really likes them. So
Like I said, I think every man should always pay. If you're looking for something serious and long term, and you put yourself in that position, I think and I think for most women they appreciate that. You know, if the man can take care of you. If like I said, I'm not saying that even though you guys are independent, if you have your own money, but I think for most women they appreciate it if a guy can can pay for the date.
second date too.
I
Second date too. On the second date too.
I pay for everything. If I'm going to woman, I pay for everything.
But how do you see the investment? And I saw Bree laughing and clapping. I was saying Bree doesn't want to pay the second date.
Oh,
But-
look, I
What-
always
what-
offer.
But no,
But
but
the
you
way-
offer, but you offer on the I'm going to pay this, or you are offered like
but
with
that's-
the T-Rex,
that's
with the T-Rex.
But that's a very good point. One of the things I look for in a woman when I'm paying, if she offers to pay. If she offers to pay, that means I know that she's sincere about my reciprocation of what I'm putting
No,
in.
but don't fall on that, Will, because they
No,
do
no,
the
no. I'm not saying
they
that's
do
no.
the
I'm
T-Rex
look,
arm. The T-Rex arm.
no,
that
no.
doesn't reach.
I'm not saying that's. I'm not saying that's. Obviously, I'm pretty good at judging body language and knowing the intention with somebody. I know when somebody's just very robotic, when they're just doing it just to say it. But like I said, it's one of the best dates I've ever been with a relationship in the past. Is every single time I would go with this woman, she would always offer, even though like it's at the second, the third, the fourth, even if we're still in that dating phase, they would always offer because I know like she understands like how much I'm investing into her financially. And like I said, that's one of the things I look for. But like I said, what I'm looking for is things the value she brings outside the date. Like is she reaching out to me? If when we have calls or if we have conversations, if she's asking me, hey, can we go on another date? I'm not always initiating the dates, even though I like to do. I like to initiate the date, but then she'll call me, hey, you free this weekend? Can we go on a date? And I'll plan it. But I'm not always the one initiating the date. I'm not always one-sided. So she's showing to me that she wants to spend time to me, and she opens up to me, hey, I want to spend time with you this weekend. Can we do something this weekend? And I'm like, oh, I'm not always. See, that's one of the things I look for.
But that's better, Will. That's a way. You know what I tell my girlfriends? When he pays the first date, when he's reaching, you offer to pay, and you say explicitly, okay, I will pay next time. That way, the man feels like he's not going to be used, even if she doesn't pay the second date. But if you reach to pay, at least tell, okay, you want to pay? I'll let you pay. I will pay the next time. So now she has she has another date. She is not risking rejection or asking him on a date. Oh, let's go on a second date. And then everything is settled for the second part. That I think is a genuine act. But going with the arm, oh, he's my card, but and oh, let me check on the back. That well, every woman does that. Oh, when I get home, let me know that when you get home. That's fake preoccupation. That's like fake.
Oh, but I would say that it's over time, right? So like for me, I watch how it progresses over time. If over time, because like people can only be fake for so long, people can only.
How many days before sex? How many?
For me, as long as
no, what's the limit? What's the limit that you are feel like you are being used? 1, 2, 3. What's the limit?
Inquiring minds want to know.
If it's, I'm gonna be honest. If it's short term, I want it. If it's a girl like it's, we're dating, but I don't really see a future with it. I want it as soon as possible. But if it's a girl that that I see long term,
how many?
I don't really care how long it takes.
Oh, you are playing
but this is the thing. But this is the thing. When you add value to a woman and you're a good man, the sex will come naturally. The sex will come. Like I totally believe that. I totally believe this number. No, I understand it. But
so many good guys paying 1 date, 7 dates, 9 dates, and she's.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying is a lot of guys a lot of guys are not aware of the reciprocation. Like I'm aware of that. I know what I'm looking for as far as reciprocation. I'm always gonna, like I said, what's it, Bree? I'm not gonna put 50-50. I'm always gonna be 100. That's always how I was raised. That's how I bring it. When I know she's not bringing 100, I stop immediately. So I can't just turn off how I am as a man and how I treat a woman because of this like fear things will work out. I'm gonna give my 100 all the time. But I'm also self-conscious and to be aware. I'm observing every single behavior, how she responds to me, because I expect 100 in return. So what I realize is if you're giving 100 and you find a good woman, the sex will come. Like it's nothing's gonna stop her from getting from getting that attraction from you. But if a woman's trying to play you, you realize that it's gonna be one-sided. People who play games, you're gonna know that you're gonna be doubting yourself like, am I being played right now? If you have those doubts in your mind that you're being played, you're probably being played.
But that's why you should have a limit, Will. That's why. Because that girl already had one night stand with one guy at least in her life.
I understand. But what I'm saying is if you work on yourself and you've done what you were supposed to do, it's gonna come naturally.
Yeah,
but I'm saying, like that's why we always guys that's what we always have this conversation. Like guys like Drake, like they put themselves in at the level, they'll get sex, right? If a guy's the same way, if you work on yourself and you put yourself on a level, be confident of who you are as a man and what you bring to the table, the sex will come, right?
I think that's good advice for someone that's above average. For the average man, I think he's really dangerous because he's going to be 6 dates out, $400 in debt because he spent on the dates, and then she will tell, "Oh, I really don't like it. Well, let me try the other guy."
Manifestation too. If you're saying it verbally constantly, that's what you're gonna get.
I didn't understand what you said. Can you repeat it?
Manifestation-wise, if you're constantly verbally saying you're gonna get women that are gonna use you 7 dates, 8 dates, 9 dates constantly, verbally, like out there, you're manifesting your own future.
That I don't believe that. The universe. If I manifest money isn't going to crawl.
Really negative about women.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Those stuff.
Obviously, if you have bad manifestations about women, you're gonna attract negative women.
Yeah, but I can manifest the lottery, but the lottery is not coming, even if I manifest it. That's the problem with that.
You have bad you look at women really bad. You look at women as if they use you. So
No. If I manifest a diet and still eat pizza, I'm not going to get skinny.
Okay, well,
I have to do something.
That women are going to
All right, let me play some peaceful music right now.
No need. But the thing about manifestation is dangerous for men, because woman.
He said
and
manifest a
people-
diet.
Okay.
No, but that's
You can
right.
eat one slice instead of two. That's a diet.
If I manifest a diet, am I going to get skinny, or do I need to have to?
You're talking about.
This is I don't even know how you
She's
got on
talking
that.
about energies, not food.
No, but even energy. If I go on you almost know. Do you guys have friend zones? Guys that are already eating on you for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and they don't give up. Hey, how are you? Can I let you go on the date? And you know that you will never fuck them, but they're still there, trying to put likes on your photos, trying to. Those guys are going to get played, because those guys are going to go on friend zones of someone.
No, I don't think so, because I would say, just like how Will was saying earlier, it's like a reciprocation, because they're getting time, because it don't mean that he's getting played, because most times in those type of situations, you've made it aware to the guy that I'm not interested in you like that. He done seen you with 1, 2, 3 boyfriends, and he's choosing to stay there. He's a grown man. He can leave at any point.
But what is he getting? Imagine
attention. Look, hold on, let me finish.
Let's let her finish real quick. Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
I mean, because like me personally, I'm a dope personality. People love being in the presence of me. I love my own presence, but I like to exude that to other people. So when people get around me, they will take me out on many dates just so they can be around me.
So you pay me with your presence? Like you being here?
So the people that I associate myself with, yeah, it doesn't have to be a sexual favor, or it doesn't have to, like, I'm the type of person, I will pay for the first date. I really do. I literally just did this the other day, and that was a mistake. Thank y'all for telling me to never do that again, because I won't. Because the second date, he didn't come with enough money. Okay, I'm not joking. So it's just like one of those things where I don't know. I just feel like you have to understand that not everything. I feel like you feel like dating has to always end in sex. Like that's sex. the goal or something.
Let's take sex out of it.
Okay.
I'm a dope person too. I'm funny too. I'm going on a date with you. I'm spending gas. I'm spending money. I'm spending my time just as you. What do I get if we go on 6 dates? I'm spending the same. What do I get? That's not sex, and it's not your presence.
What you're gonna get? You're calculating the calculations of the gas and everything, and you're already asking what you're gonna get. You're already treating it as a transaction instantly.
I'm not a prostitute. That's how I see it.
No, but you said your presence. No, because she says my presence alone is enough to compensate.
Absolutely, I agree. Absolutely, I agree.
Angie, okay, let's reverse it. Let's reverse it. You want a guy everywhere. He goes on a date. He's super funny, more funny than you. He's super nice person. He's everybody around him is nice. He's beautiful, but he doesn't come with money. He says, "Hey, come pick me up at home." He doesn't invest anything in you. You are going to be like, come on.
But how is he not? So how is it not an investment? Because my thing is, I've been in a situation like that, and I'm still friends with this person. But my thing is, I don't mind taking that person out, because they may not have it, but just being around in their presence is one of those things where it's just like, look, this is dope. Like I will pay to be around you, just because we vibe and we feel good together when we're around each other. It's not about how much money I'm spending, because I ain't pressed for it. I feel like people who be pressed for talking about how much money this is going to cost, you press for cash, and you can't even afford to take nobody out in the first place. So you don't know why you're doing it.
1 minute ago, you said that you are not going on the second date because the guy didn't pay the date. Now,
that's a different person. No, because I went on when I went on the second date with this guy, the one that I was talking about. When I went on with him, the bill was $45. He came with $40 cash and was like, and I already paid for the first date, And he had said, hey, I'm taking care of everything and I'm gonna take you on a whole date.
So
We're going to the
money.
movies after this. He didn't
It's
come with
about
enough money.
But it's about money then.
No, in that situation, it was disrespect. Because my thing is that you don't tell someone, hey, I'm gonna treat you out. When you say you're gonna treat me out, I'm expecting you to be able to pay the bill and pay the tip. I'll even throw in the tip. I'll be like, hey, don't worry about it. I'll pay the tip. Don't worry about it. But if you can't even pay the full bill, but you're telling me you want to take me out, I can't go on a second date. I mean, a third date.
He didn't follow through with his word, right? He didn't follow through with his word.
Yes, that's
the principle.
So Fatty, so you said that, okay, I want to make sure it's clear. So you said to take out the sex if you're willing to pay financially. So what will you look for? Like what value would a woman have to bring outside of sex for you to feel like that it's a fair trade for the investment of finances that you're paying for the date? So
as I said, if she you said I don't know the word in English, sorry, reciprocation. If I give anything in, the thing is, women are very good to use this as oh no, I'm reciprocating, yeah, words and texts. I'm going to tell you the experience, the best experience I had from a dating point. I went on a date, I picked it up, we went to a 5-star hotel, I spent almost $300. When I was going back home, she took a box of candy, gave it to me, and said, thank you for taking care of me, and gave him the box of candy. I've been on more than 100 dates. That piece of candy was worth more investment than all the women that fake paid the dinner, fake paid the hotel, said, oh, when you get home, text me. That means shit. That means nothing, because all women do that. But just the simple gesture means that she's into you. When I say, I'm going to your home, what are you going to? I'm going to cook for you. That's an example that she's into you. She says, I'm going to your home and I'm going to cook for you. But for most women, this is so easy. This costs €5, €10. But for women, this doesn't even come to their head. So, like I said, Bree, it's not that I'm not trying to court you and trying to get like something from you, even a sex or a relationship, but you have to show at least a little bit that you are into me. And, oh, I'm here and I'm fabulous and I'm funny and you should be happy by my presence when I'm spending money, I'm spending my time, I'm trying to take care of you, is, to be honest, a little bit, it's empty. It doesn't mean nothing, because you're not doing anything that other women are not doing. It means nothing. My presence is a gift to you. I'm better than you, and that's what that signifies. That's, I don't know the word, but that means that you think you are better than the man you are with. That your presence alone is enough for him to spend $50 and get the gas money. That's, if your presence is enough, that means that you think your time is worth more than the time of the other person.
That's not what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is that sometimes I feel like literally, I know you're saying that's not what you're saying, but you're equating spending money on somebody with getting something in return. Just because you spend money doesn't mean that you have to get something in return. But my thing is that if you go out and you let's say you take somebody out and you take them out every single time, if you're having a great time, the money's not an issue. You're not thinking about how much money you're going to spend. You're like, I'm spending time with this person. And then eventually, it may turn into something like sex. But my thing is that you have to be willing to say, would I enjoy being around this person without getting sex? Because that's all it really honestly boils down to in real life.
Of course.
So if you can't vibe with that person, if you feel like I'm spending my money and what am I getting out of it, then you're not even honestly doing it out of the kindness of your heart. Because if you're not really just giving to this person to be giving to them or investing, because sometimes an investment may take longer, but the stuff that's worth waiting for is the stuff that's worth it. Like it's worth waiting for it. Versus saying, oh, well, it's been 5 dates, so pay up. That's a transaction, like a prostitute. No, that's how I feel.
Put it around. Imagine that you are cooking every single day for me. And all I do to you is thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You are waking up 2 hours before me. You are making breakfast and something for me to go to work. And every single time, the only thing I give you is thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you. Have a nice day. I hope you have a nice day. Thank you.
Okay, well, I get what you're saying. No, I get what you're saying. But let's say that I enjoy cooking, because in the way that I was explaining it, it would be that I would enjoy cooking. And then in the meantime, it wouldn't just be you saying, oh, thank you. It would be, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like, what did you put in this? There's more. No. But the way that I'm trying to explain it to you.
You are going to wake up. I wake up at 6 a.m. You have to wake up at 4 a.m. Nobody who likes to wake up at 4 a.m. You are going to wake up at 4 a.m. You are going to cook for me. And the only thing you are going to get is my presence. And thank you. And I'm going out and I'm going to work. You would feel some type of way, right? You would feel, everyone would feel. If I had to cook every single day for someone and they didn't show appreciation for what I did,
but see that you're bringing it into the point where they're not showing appreciation. So you're turning this aspect into something that because you don't give somebody sex, you're not showing appreciation.
I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about tangible things more than your presence.
So if we're talking about, because I'll say that
one by one. Go ahead.
Okay. I would just say what you're saying doesn't equate to the equation of what I stated. You're stating a whole different situation where the person's not being appreciated. Now, I don't think it's right for a girl to actually like go on a date with a guy just for food. That would be equal to the example that you're stating. That would be equal to that.
We agree. Can you tell me rapidly? The man takes care of everything: the money, the ride, the movies, the hotel. I don't know. What does he get in return?
Why does he have to be?
That's an honest question.
No. But what do you mean? What does he get? He gets valuable time that I could have been spending with somebody else if I wanted.
You see, you think you are better than him.
No, because they have that same exact option.
Go lay down now.
That's how I feel. If they feel like that I'm not appreciating their time, then they can take their time to somebody else.
Yes, of course.
Who will appreciate it. So how would me not? So what in that situation that I stated? How would it not be me appreciating somebody's presence?
Bree, for us to have a relationship, even of friendship, I have to give you something. You have to give me something.
Okay, in a friendship, what are you giving back and forth in a friendship?
Let me tell you. The worst friends are the friends that every time you must have friends like that. You have a problem, you go talk with them, and at the middle of the conversation, you are talking about them and their problems, because for their mind, they think the movie is about them. So you go there. Oh, I have this problem. Da 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 da. And when you notice, you're talking about their problems because they twisted it around and they are talking about them. This is not a relationship. This is a one-way street. And you are going to get out of that situation and you're going to say, come on, this is not my friend. On the relationship.
All right, I know what I can see where this is like. I know we agree to disagree, but just for the sake of time, we're gonna move on to the next topic.
I tap out on this one. I tap out.
Good. We can agree to disagree. It's okay. But let me know your thoughts. I know a lot of people are watching right now. I know some people commented on the live chat thinking of what they thought about the conversation. What do you think about the conversation, the topic that Angie brought up about men paying for the date? I know we all share opinions, but we'll love to hear from you guys on the live chat. What do you guys think? Thank you so much for watching. If you're tuning in right now, press the like subscribe button real quick. I'll pass it on to Shawna. Shawna, I know you're the last one. What's that spicy hot question that you got for us? And we'll conclude the podcast with that. Go ahead, Shawna.
Okay, it's kind of, I would say it's a personal question, and I want to get your guys' opinion, okay? It's nothing to do with money or anything, but how do you feel about dating? Would it be weird if you dated your step-parents' stepkids?
Hey, I have to go.
Oh, nice.
Bye.
Would you like to?
I hope he's not watching, and I'm not interested in him. It's just something that happened, and okay, let me tell you a story real quick. So I was on Hinge and I met this guy and we were like, the whole day we were like texting, like, oh my God. And then at the end of the day, I was like, what's your IG? He sends me his IG and then I go to his IG and he follows my stepbrother. And I was like, hey, how you know my stepbrother? And he's like, who's your stepbrother? And I was like, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, that's my stepbrother. I was like, what? So then I put it all together. Like, oh, you're blah, blah, blah. And I called my mom and my stepdad, like, why y'all ain't tell me y'all had a fine-ass stepson?
Are you writing a script for Bang Bros?
No.
What the hell is that? The stepbrother?
But it's not okay. But listen, my mom and my stepdad married when I was like 21, and I don't know those stepkids. These are stepkids that he raised when he was with his other wife, and I've never even met them. They've been married 8 years now, and I've never met this boy, and he's fine, y'all.
You look
how fine is he? How fine is he? Like 8, 9,
He's
10?
fine. He like a 8.
A solid 8. Okay.
Solid 8.
A solid 8. All right.
I want y'all opinion because my mom's like, this is incest, and I'm like,
Will,
no, it's not.
Will, do you see what's funny? She has almost unlimited options, and the forbidden fruit is the one that she wants. This is woman nature one-on-one. The
Grateful.
one that she
you get what you eat, what you know, whatever served on the table. That's what I was taught.
I'm gonna cry. No, for real. I want y'all opinion.
Bree, let me start with Angie. Angie, what do you think about dating your stepson? I'm sorry, stepbrother.
I don't know. If you didn't know him, I guess, and it's not blood related, did you know Clueless was about literally step siblings dating?
Yeah. Next videos too.
Yeah,
Most of X videos.
I don't know. Personally, I don't know. I would question it a little bit just because if you guys get like close knitted into the family, you know.
Imagine if you get boyfriend and girlfriend and you go home.
That's a preference, honestly.
He's not my stepbrother. He's my stepdad's stepson.
But
Listen,
how are you going to explain that to your family?
He's not my brother.
Yeah,
I mean, stepdad, stepson. That was still his brother.
It's not even his son. It's somebody he raised from his ex-wife.
It's not related, but imagine explaining that.
So your stepdad, stepson.
Come on, Will.
Oh, we're good. We're good. Open those gates.
I ain't talking about my stepbrother.
He thought you talking about your brother, because he was like, he's like stepson.
I was confused. I was confused. Oh, this your stepdad, stepson. Oh, man, good.
It's not even his son. It's somebody he raised with his ex-wife. You know what I mean? And they was trying to hide us from each other. So yeah, what y'all think?
So Bree, what do you think?
She don't know.
Angie says it doesn't know. Doesn't know. But what about you, Bree?
Look, I'll just put it like this. I would date my sister my sister has a different dad. I would date one of her cousins, okay? Ain't nothing wrong with that. Girl, my sister cousins is fine, okay? I'm just saying, okay? Look, they ain't blood related to me, okay? I'm just letting it be known. No, but that's just my opinion.
Okay.
All right, no worries. And thank you, Bree. What do you think, Fatty? What do you think?
I'm not going to give advice because I know woman superpower is asking for advice and doing exactly what they wanted to do anyway. She's going to sleep with him. And
I am not messing. I thought it was funny. I'm not giving this.
I can give you 73 reasons just for the fact that is literally the forbidden fruit that he shouldn't pick. And she's going to pick it. Because you are going to. And you
No, I'm not. I thought it was funny. I thought it was a good question.
And you know what's funny? You are going to have sex with him. And after that, you are going to say, what the fuck am I doing here? Am I crazy? Because that's the thing, you are curious. Because if he wasn't related, or he's not related, but if he wasn't that guy, and if you go on your messages and see the 20, 30, 40 guys that want to sleep with you, you know that he just passes right through them because of that how do you say in English? Taboo situation. It's because it's taboo.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't want to, that's why the sex with the mailman, and if you go to X videos, most videos there is stepdad this, stepsister that, stepbro this, stepbro that, because it's taboo, because men and women like that. So my advice is do that and then go to church on Sunday and talk to the priest and everything will be fine.
So,
I
so
can
Shawna,
put it in the question.
Shawna, like not in percentage wise, like is it 50-50? You taking this seriously? 60-40, 70-30? What is it like?
She already did it. She already did it.
It's zero. It is zero. No, it is literally like, okay, so I'm not taking it seriously at all, but I can tell that he actually is interested.
Did you guys already exchange nudes? You did, right?
No, I'm not. I'm not. I thought it was funny. And I thought it was a good question to ask. Like, because I was questioning it the first day that it happened.
Are you sure?
I swear. I'm telling you. Right hand on the Bible. Right hand on the Bible. I swear. I'm not taking it seriously. I'm like interested in a whole nother person. I just think it's a really funny topic because it was very like it's a coincidence. Like, really? And I'm like, I'm asking my stepdad, like, where you been hiding this man? You know?
Yeah.
So
I think for my answer is like I think it's just. I mean, if you go down that route, I mean, you're gonna make your own choice as a woman at the end of the day, but you just have to understand what you're signing up for. And once you get into a relationship with them, you know, like you have to have that conversation. Every single person that you know, you're always gonna the family reunion, the people gonna ask about it. You're gonna be perceived in a weird way. You probably have to deal with that for the rest of your life.
And the explanation is tough.
Your kid's gonna ask about it. If you guys have kids, like, wait, that's my.
Yeah, well, but the explanation is tough because my stepbrother, son of my stepfather, that is.
If you're willing to deal with that, if you're willing to deal with the rest of your life, but I'm just saying, you just gotta look at it that way. Like, probably not something you want to deal with.
I want to see that family structure.
But I mean, from your situation, the stepdad, stepson, that's a lot better than I've seen. Like people marry their own person, first cousins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
I'm Pacific Islander, so like this happens in really.
I'm Samoan, so yeah.
That's another topic. We shouldn't discuss that on YouTube.
So that happens. So yeah, if you're watching this right now, live chat, and if you have experience doing that with your stepson or step whatever, let me know, man. Let me know. I'm not judging. I just want to know if you guys have
She's crying now, Will. What did you do?
Some advice. No worries. But no worries. Yeah, we have come to the conclusion of the podcast. I just want to say, ladies, thank you so much for being on here. Thank you so much for taking the time. And Angie, I know you're busy, but thank you for jumping on a little bit later. Much appreciated taking your time. Shout out to the ladies real quick. Really presence. I really enjoyed you guys' company and being on here. I really appreciate it. Fatty, always appreciate you coming on as a guest and sharing your thoughts real quick. But I want to ask the ladies real quick. What's your final thoughts on tonight's discussion? What did you take away from it? And of course, if you want to drop your social media handles, everybody out there that want to find you, any single guy out there that's willing to pay for your dates, gonna take you on my slide through. So, or maybe some stepsons out there. No worries. But I'll start with you, Bree. First time on the podcast. What's your takeaway from tonight's podcast? What's your takeaway from it, and how can people find you?
Well, I would certainly say that I won't be initiating or paying for the first date ever again because I did not have a good experience with it, and I don't think that it's something that I'm even comfortable with because I do realize the value that it shows in interest with someone willing to invest into me and being, but I'm a very giving person, so I'm gonna have to cut that out though. But y'all can find me on IG, Baby Dolls. You can find me on Facebook, Breanna. Well, I don't know. I forget my last name. I don't know. But I'm on TikTok, and hey, y'all can find me. I'm here.
No worries, no worries. Yeah, thank you so much, Breanna, for jumping on, and enjoyed your company. We had some fun. You turned it up tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bree, for jumping on. Let me pass it to Angie. Angie, I know your first time being on here. I know you've done this before. But yeah, what was your takeaway from tonight's podcast? And thank you so much, by the way, for coming on a little bit later, making time out of your busy day. Really appreciate that to you. But yeah, what's your thoughts on tonight's conversation? And how can people find you if you want people to find you, Angie?
I think manifestation is everything, and you literally will manifest whoever you verbally say it. And if you talk about specific people constantly, you're gonna emulate and attract it. And also, Angela's with an A instead of an E. That's my business name, and my all of my social media is Angela with an A.
All right, no worries. Thank you so much, Angie, for jumping on. And also, thank you for taking this last minute. I know it was last minute, but thank you for jumping on. I really appreciate you, Angie. Thank you so much. And last but not least, Shawna. Yeah, it was it was a great conversation tonight for having you on tonight. But what's your final thoughts, and how can people find you?
You can find me on IG, Shawna Lamarena, TikTok, Shawna Flaherty, F as in Frank Flaherty. Again, with the money thing, I guess, Will, when you said because I guess when women say it, it kind of seems gold digger-ish when we say that the men should always pay for the dates. So for you to say that, it makes me feel better that I think that men should do that. You validated that I'm not a gold digger when I say that a man should pay always.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I think of allowing the man to pay is part of the vetting process to distinguish the guys that just have nothing going on for their life and the guys that have some form of stability. Obviously, you find out a little bit more.
Definitely.
But I do know if a guy really likes you, really values you, and willing to invest into you, he's gonna pay. He's gonna pay.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. Make them pay. Make them pay.
Period.
All right. Thank you so much, Shawna. I really appreciate that. And yeah, thank you so much for all the guests. Fatty, what's your last thoughts, Fatty? What last thoughts, everybody out there?
I want them to absorb the second part of what you said. You need to see something so you not feel used. And I'm going to tell you this. I think this is the worst mistake that women get, and women don't understand the kind of separation they could create if they showed on the first, second, and third date a little bit of something. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't just go to the date and be you and don't do nothing and laugh and have a good time. I'm telling you that if you want to win the race, because it's a race, if you like the guy, he probably has another woman that likes him too. If you want to win the race, you have to create something that separates you from the competition. Men do this all the time with gifts, money, dinners, nice cars, nice houses, take you to this, that, and that. The problem with women nowadays is that they think that their presence is good enough for the date when all the women that she's competing to are thinking the same. So if they think the same, do a little bit more so you can have the results that you want. If you don't want to have him, if you really are just there for there and you want to lose, keep doing what you're doing and keep just showing up and being a good sport and it's okay, I'm fine and I'm nice. Everyone thinks that they are special, but almost no one proves that they are. So do the second part. Prove it. If you are special, prove it so that you can have better results.
All right, no worries. Thank you so much, Fatty, for jumping on. And thank you for the open dialogue. I know there was a lot of topics we discussed tonight, and we didn't necessarily agree. But I just want to thank you for all the guests for having an open mind and having a conversation and being okay whether we agree or disagree. I appreciate that from you guys tonight. And for everybody that's watching this right now, we do this every single weekend. We do modern dating every single Saturday. So if you missed out on this live show, you can watch the rest of the live show tonight. But if you want to watch the next one, just subscribe to the channel. Press that subscribe button real quick. We go live next week, next Saturday, same time, 9 p.m. Pacific time. You guys can tune in and also be part of the show. But nevertheless, thank you so much, ladies. You guys have a very blessed night. Hope you guys have a great weekend. And peace, y'all. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you. Bye, y'all.
All right, you guys have a good night. All right.
You too.